What's going on, guys? Etika from the Etika World Network here, and if you guys kept up with me on Twitter earlier in this week, you would have seen that I got super excited about Phantasy Star Online 2 finally having some kind of a Western release, but it wasn't something as glorified as that. People made it to be a much bigger deal than it actually was, and apparently it just came down to a certain server or something like that being able to allow Western players to jump online. It really was not the localization that I've been praying to the Phantasy Star gods for, and the title of this video, of course, is holding true because Sega insists on playing with my Erection endlessly. Let's go into the article right now. We have something from Niche Gamer, which is going to explain the situation a little bit more. So let's go into it here. And I'm not sure how many of you dudes are interested in Phantasy Star. It's a really old series, and I know it hasn't been on top of its game too much when it comes to the Western side of things for quite a while now. I'm not sure about other regions. I know in Japan, Phantasy Star is still strong, but here in the West, not so much. But I'm sure it has a really good reputation with a lot of you dudes, so some of you may be interested in this. Phantasy Star Online 2 IP block returns and Westerners no longer welcomed, aka Sega plays with their fans' erections once more in regards to Phantasy Star's localization or something along those lines. It's really fucked up, considering that Sega said that they feel like they betrayed their fans. Maybe they were only talking about their Japanese ones, because here in America we're still getting fucked up the asshole with no lube by Sega when it comes to their Phantasy Star Online 2 transfer to the Western side of things. I don't know what the hell's going on here, and I apologize if I seem a little bit frustrated with this, but Phantasy Star Online 2 is probably one of my, Phantasy Star in general is probably one of my favorite RPGs in existence. JRPGs at least, and it's kind of fucked up that we were promised a localization and it's not happening, and then they open up the servers for Western people to jump online at least in a more sensible fashion, and then they close it again. What are you, how many boners can you bust, Sega? How many boners can you bust? And I'm not talking about bust like an orgasm, nigga. I'm talking about bust like foot crushing, nigga. Why would you do this to me? I'm not into that shit. I'm not into having my genitals crushed. Please, Sega. Much excitement was had around the web last week, and like I said, I was going crazy about this shit. Earlier in the week, you should have seen the way I flipped off the fucking wall when I heard that Phantasy Star, at some point, Online 2 at least, was going to be made available for the Western audience. Like, I know the details weren't that cut and dry, and I know there was a lot more stuff that make it complicated, but people were losing their shit. I was going crazy on Facebook, Twitter, on MySpace even. Not really, but anyways, much excitement was had around the web last week when it was reported on many sites that the Southeast Asia version of Phantasy Star Online 2 was no longer blocking non-Asian countries' IPs. Some were quick to point out that it would switch back, or perhaps the removal was due to temporary server maintenance, but many, like myself, hoped it was a sign of Sega loosening their grip on the title. Unfortunately, reports, thanks to this guy, have come from several places that the IP block has returned, with Western players now getting errors when trying to connect. Some are reporting that even the previous method of using VPNs no longer works. And this is the method that a lot of people played with beforehand as well, too. I know Tails Channel played with it, I know Joseph on Deck played with it, with many of them being banned. It turns out that the IP block was removed to help people within the game's official territories connect to the server, supposedly alleviating the latency and connection issues that it had been experiencing as of late. So the IP block was removed in order to help people with the game's official territories connect to the server. How would letting the whole world jump in on your Phantasy Star Online 2 servers help with people not being able to connect in America? In your regular territories, Japan and whatnot. I don't know. The saddest part of this story is that those Westerners who spent money in the cash shop are now unable to access the digital goods that they have purchased. One does have to wonder what they will do if all those people file a chargeback on their cards and get refunded the money. And once again, another story of Sega and their stupid policies, although many companies out there have stupid policies in some form or fashion, but Sega's, in regards to this, is probably one of the most retarded I've ever seen. We were promised a localization, we don't get that, and then on top of it all, people that do try to jump onto the server in some way are still getting rammed with a hot rod simply for trying to enjoy a game that was promised to us but we never received. If you don't know, Phantasy Star Online 2 was promised to be Western released years ago, I think back in 2012, even before that maybe. and it's a shame that this is not coming to fruition at all, and that Sega still has their dictatorship over who the hell can join online with Phantasy Star Online 2. It's absolutely retarded, and apparently VPNs aren't working either, so people who were already trying to bypass that by going onto servers are getting rammed as well. And the craziest part about this is that for a while, when you joined online with Phantasy Star Online 2, you could not type in English, or else moderators could potentially see that and know, hey, this motherfucker's he's not from Southeast Asia, he's not from Tokyo, fuck this dude, and ban your ass for that. So I mean, hey, as you can see, I'm a little bit passionate when it comes to this whole thing. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you feel like Sega is justified in their behavior? I definitely don't think so at all, but I mean, you guys gotta let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next video, man. Take care of yourselves, and of course, as usual, please have yourself a damn good one.